Shalawam, shalawam, shalawam to the 12 tribes of Israel, giving of course all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Mahashak Yahushua, Wa Shalawam, right? Wa Brakatham, right? So, through the spirit power of Mahashak Yahushua, we're going to go through some verses about the day of Simon, right? And so the day of Simon, a couple camps are going to be celebrating it at on May 15th at sundown, right? May 15th at sundown, right? So May 15th at sundown is going to start at May 15th, Friday. That's a Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, right? And that's when it ends. So basically it's going to be, coincide with the Sabbath, right? So, so this is First Maccabees chapter 13, and I'm just going to read a few verses, right, to get the context about where we get this day of Simon from. First Maccabees 13 and 42. Then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. So Simon, if you didn't know, was the son of Matthias. I believe, right? Let's go to Simon, right? First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse Simon 2 and 1. In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorab from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Johanan, called Cattis, Simon, called Thassi, right? Judas, who was called Maccabees, right? So basically, Simon is a brother of Judas Maccabees, a very, very renowned and valiant man of warfare, right? That Israel must know, right? He's one of our righteous forefathers. And also you have Simon, his brother, right? Which was called the high priest and ruler of the Jews, right? So let's go back to First Maccabees 13. And verse 43, and it reads, in those days Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city and battered a certain tower and took it. And they that were in the engine leaped up into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city, insomuch as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children, and cried with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. So he was making war against these heathen, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken, he was making war against the heathen, right? And especially during this time, right? You had a lot of heathen try to take over Jerusalem, but Judas Maccabees, among other righteous brethren, right, overtook the heathen, right, the spirit power of Mahashak Yahushua, right? And so Simon is one of those righteous men, right? It says, verse 46, and they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy. So Simon was appeased toward them, and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city, and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered into it with songs and thanksgiving, right? And I encourage, brothers and sisters, to read this whole book, basically, right? Ain't got to be in one day, ain't got to be in 5 days, as whenever you can, right? Yea, he put all uncleanness out of it, and placed such men there as would keep the law, and made stronger than it was before, and built therein a dwelling place for himself. They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth, nor go into the country, nor buy, nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and a great number of them perished through famine. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching them to be at one with them, which thing he granted them, that he had put them from thence. He cleansed the tower from pollutions. Verse 51, and entered into it the 23rd day of the second month in the 71st year with thanksgiving and branches of palm trees, and with harps and cymbals, and with viols and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. So, right, Khan, so this is that day. I mean, not today, but, on Friday, basically tomorrow, right? It's going to be that day, right? Tomorrow at sundown, right? It's going to be that day, right? That that great enemy was destroyed out of Israel. So this is one of our feast days, right? Verse 52, he ordained also that the day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, to the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt with himself with his company. And when Simon saw that John, his son, was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the host, and he dwelt in Gazaria, right? Right? So with that, I'll give a call, like Yahweh Bashim Mashak, right? The day of Simon is coming up, Memorial Simon. Brothers, some brothers already celebrated it, right? Hope they had a powerful feast day through the Spirit, right? I like to say, Shalawam, stay fervent in the Spirit, stay mighty in the Spirit, keep praying, keep fasting, right? Except on the, on the feast days and the new moons and the Sabbaths, right? Stay diligent, right, in this work. Run that race, right? Bahashamu Mashak Elsha. Washalom.